Hello, everyone. Welcome to another horror review. And movie number 11, are we on the marathon? Guys, I'm hurting. I want to lie down. I just want to lie down like kept for an hour, but we're nearly at the halfway point. We're there. We're hitting the wall, but we're going to push through this. Right. What a movie to go on. Oh, by the way, if you hasn't figured out, I'm doing these alphabetically because that's just the way they're listed. So we're all times, genres, whatever. There's no other preference, just alphabetical order by the title. So, Inside, this is a French film, and basically, the premise is a grieving widow on the eve of giving birth finds herself under attack in her home by a mysterious stranger. Right. Even starting off, there's a bit of dodgy CGI because of a baby in the womb. It appears a couple of times. Think of Kane out of RoboCop 2 when he does that screen. That's kind of how it looks. Apart from that, my god, this film is gory, visceral. The practical effects are top notch, and the tension in this is unreal. It's something else. Even for me, there's a few moments here I'm like, oh, and that it takes a lot for me to get sucked into a drama like this. So we'll start off. We'll get this weird CGI scene with the baby. And my baby safe inside me, just get a bit of dialogue. And then we cut scene to a car crash. First of all, the way they've done the car crash is amazing. Like they're just two ordinary cars piling each other. One, the windscreen's completely gone, but a wiper is going the gap, but it's all bent out of shape. It's raining. And we're focusing two passengers in the car, partners, and the pregnant girl, is there. She's big, huge bit of glass sticking out of her head. I mean, this is proper. Like her face is bloodied up, smashed to bits. She's even spitting out a bit of blood as she goes to try and speak to what we find out it's her husband, and he is just in bits. He's there. She looks worse than him, but he's like slumped and he's all like bits of glass. I mean, the time they would have spent on the prosthetics, getting it all glued in, and you don't see that level of detail anymore. It would have been, if it was Hollywood, it'd be digital blood. But this is like proper visceral mix, like the deep red, and you could tell the difference between venal blood and arterial blood. That's how much detail it went into. If something's an arterial spray, it's a slightly brighter color. If it's a venous, or from the gut or what, it's the darker. So we cut scene anyway from the car, and this is just the opening. Like this car crash, you're like, whoa, good stuff. And it's so simple. It's not, they're not wrapped around a tree, they're not just two cars smashed into each other. And it just, with everything in the camera work. Oh, the camera work's brilliant in this, by the way. Best I've seen in a long time for like a medium budget horror movie. So we'll cut forward 8 months or something. A few months later anyway. It wouldn't be 8 months because she's already heavily pregnant, but it's basically coming up to the term, so it's a few months later that says in the bottom of the screen what it is. She's getting her antenatal and she's told to come in next day to the hospital. And if blah blah blah, if she doesn't not ready to pop, they'll induce her and all this kind of stuff. Her mother's like, right, do you want me to stay with you tonight or stay in our house? And she's like, no, she's very cold and distant. And yeah, that's all right. You can kind of understand she's a broken woman. That becomes obvious. Then we get this strange scene in the hospital where a nurse comes and sits down beside her. And it's actually a comedic bit because the nurse is like, God, 4 babies, blah blah blah, it's terrible. Yeah, I was in 13 hours in labor, and the baby was dead inside me. Blah blah blah, all this stuff. Like absolutely mad. And just lights up a cigarette and starts smoking it, and you're like, "What the hell's going on here?" So this is all sort of the melodrama phase, which sort of setting the tone. It's fair enough. She goes to her home. Then next thing you know, she arranges with her boss. She's a photographer, and there's ratting in Paris. So this is the backdrop of rats and so forth. And she's agreed to go the next morning. Like she's about to drop, but she agrees to go the next morning to photograph rats, and her boss is letting her. Yeah, but we'll let that go because that's sort of so the plot can happen. And it's really the only sort of contrived bit because everything else in this is just like, oh. Needless to say, she's home, she's relaxing. Then there's a knock on the door. Her woman's voice outside, "Oh, can I use your phone? Let me in." And she said no, but the minute she says her husband's sleeping, no, she's worried. She says, don't want to be alone while the rats are going on. And then she says, "Your husband's dead, Sarah, let me in." So straight away, we know there's something not right here. Then she goes round the house and she's round the back porch window and she punches the window. And Sarah starts using her camera to take photographs and calls the police. At this moment, you could easily think, is this a psychological drama? That's the red herring here. It's kind of leading you along the path of she's imagining this. Because on the first instance, and the way there's a woman dressed in black and hanging outside and knows her name and you can't quite see her face. I don't have time to skip back, but I suspect it was the same woman at the hospital in the nurse's outfit. In fact, I can almost guarantee it's the same person. I would need to skip back to that scene. It didn't seem relevant, but honestly, now to think about it, yeah. So that carries on, and then police come around, they search the place, and don't find anybody. Better go outside. They'll have a unit call by later on, check on her. She goes up to bed and goes to sleep. And then we see the other girl in the sort of background. So we realize this is a real person because then we get the point of view of the girl in black going to search the place. So you realize, oh crap, this is a real person. It's not psychological drama. And she's in the house. Oh dear. Oh, there's Oliver. No, I'm not doing any shagging, mate. I'm shagged. 11th movie in a row. I'm feeling it. I'm shagged more than shagger. Being a shagger, I'm a shaggy. But yeah, that's and this is where it just goes batshit crazy. So this girl comes back. She goes and finds some sterilizing alcohol. She comes back with a pair of scissors, basically about to cut Sarah open, and then that's it. Just trying to cut her baby out of her, and then realize this is the real person, and this whole mad shit takes place. That's the only way to describe it. Sarah ends up hiding in the bathroom, and yeah, this would rival a Giallo movie. Honestly, Dario Argento would be proud of this because all happens next is this just goes up to 12. Doesn't even go to 11. It goes to 12. This girl that's sneaked into the house is absolutely, I mean, nuts. She is on a mission trying to bite the door open, kicking the door and stabbing it with a scissors and trying to get in there and just going absolutely crazy. And yeah, and the wee cat gets killed, which is not nice, but it's just showing this psychosis of this intruder. Then the police arrive and she pretends to be Sarah, the householder, and then this work goes to 12, because obviously they know that she's heavily pregnant and this girl isn't, and that's what tips off one of the officers. And to top it off, they've got a rioter in the back seat, so they've grabbed some kid that was out rioting. They've got him in the back seat. So 2 police go up to the door. They've got one guy in the back talking to his wife on the phone while he's on duty. And it seems very contrived, but it works. This guy's, he's got one of them partners that can't be left, not be in contact for more than 5 minutes. So he's on duty with a perp in the back on the phone. And then it's 2 officers go into the house, and it just all kicks off. I'm trying not to spoil this one because you really need to watch this movie. Legit, you need a strong stomach for it if you're not used to like proper gory horror. And I mean, this isn't slasher stuff. This is, like I said, it's Dario Argento type stuff, but with venom. I mean, actual visceral hatred. So it's not even campy horror. I mean, this is proper disturbing, unhinged stuff, and it's been ages since I've seen a movie like this. It's actually made me sit back a bit and go, oh, that's a bit much, if that makes sense. And I'm not used to feeling like this about horror movies. I'm used to just being completely ambivalent, and this one's kind of shook me a bit and went, you will pay attention. I'm like, yes, okay, I'm there, right. Oh shit, what's going to happen next? It's been so long since I felt that about a movie. It's brilliant. Yeah, things escalate, and then the gunshots go off. So that brings the third cop, and he brings the perp in with him because he can't leave him in the car for some reason. So he handcuffs him and leads him on a thing, and he gets involved. And then it just goes, and you think this couldn't go any more mental. Oh, the boss turns up and her mother turns up, and yeah, it is. And I mean, just put it like this, the floors are slick with blood. I mean, just blood, gore, guts everywhere, burnt bits of flesh, anything you can think of has happened. And it does come to a conclusion, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to spoil the movie. You bloody need to watch it. But oh my god, we'll find out why this woman's attacking her, where she's come from. I'm not going to spoil that either because it's kind of obvious, but you kind of need to see it. And then the ending just leaves you going, oh shit. And you kind of don't feel good about the world. It's a bit like that. Yeah, so there you go. That's I'm keeping these short and sharp. Oh, hey Chris. Yeah, number 11. I'm hurting. I'm hurting, but I'm going to do this. I'm not giving up. But there you go. This one was brutal, and I loved it. It's been so long since a movie's actually gripped me like that. I'm glad I saw it. So there you go. There's that one. Right. Next up. I don't know. This only came out in 2023, I think. This is a new movie. Like I said, I'm doing these alphabetically, so they're not in time order or anything. I'm not spoiling it. Nice try. I'm not spoiling it. You need to watch it, but you need a strong stomach. So don't have dinner beforehand because you might lose it if you're not used to these type of movies. But there you go. That's that. That was cool. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen one of them movies and made me go, "Oh my god!" Which it's like chasing the dragon. It's long time between hits. Really had fun. There you go. That's it. So next up, I'm going to be doing Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 one. Got Jeff Goldblum and or you won the remake. I'm doing that, and yeah, I think that'll be a bit of a lighter note. That's a bit of a psychological horror aspect to that, but it's definitely going to be a lighter tone in this one. So I'll bring myself down a notch after that. You could go. So until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.